Hi there and a lally ho! I'd like to welcome you to this video on Astro, or Astrologian as the full name. You can unlock this in Ishgard and with the Heaven's Ward expansion. It starts at level 30 and it continues all the way up to max level, of course. Now Astro is a healer, and it but it also Astro is a healer, and it focuses on buffing the party up. Now depending on the card you draw is depending on the buff you can give to your party. Now you have your basic heals, which is Benefic and Benefic 2. Benefic has a proc chance for Benefic 2, where the next Benefic 2 you cast will be a crit, as so. You have Helios for your AoE, just pure heal AoE. An essential dignity is your off GCD oh goddamn get your HP up button. It gets more powerful as the less HP the target of the heal has. Now Astro is able to be a shield healer or a regen healer. This is determined by nocturnal or diurnal sect. Now, for dungeons and the majority of your time, I suggest being in diurnal. You only really want to be nocturnal for when you're in 8-man content and you're with a white mage. Or another Astro who's in diurnal already. Big reason for this is, unfortunately, nocturnal now affects the amount of mana cost of expected Benefic. And it goes from 500 while in diurnal to 1000 in nocturnal, and the shield is not that great of a potency for the mana cost anymore, especially in dungeons where tanks may take in so much damage that the shield just does not do anything to defend against the onslaught, and you're better off just getting the regens on and focusing better on your healing. Now, light speed reduces the cast time to 0. So you're now Benefic, Helios, Benefic 2s, expected Helios. Your damage spells like Malefic and Gravity are all become instant. You still get the GCD recast time below. So it's basically they get front loaded with light speed. There is no penalty, and light speed also reduces MP cost a little. And we just kill them all. Expected Benefic and expected Helios change their function based on the sect you're in. So for diurnal they give regens, for nocturnal they give shields. Now the regens stack with each other, the shields do not. So you will have to, so do be careful of that. A weaker shield will not overwrite a stronger one though, so don't have to worry about that. Ascend, which is down there, is your res, and you get cross-rolled Asuna, which you should always have on, because there's a lot of Asunable debuffs in the game. Right. At level, where is it? At level 62 you get Earthly Star. Now this is a ground placed AoE. Now it heals party members and deals damage to enemies within the circle. If you wait 10 seconds, it will be upgraded to Earthly Dominance, and you can pop it early by pressing the same button as same Earthly Star button. So if you need to quickly burst out the heal a bit earlier, feel free to do so. Or if you want damage going off sooner, feel free to do that as well. You can just let the timer run and it will explode after 20 seconds with the higher potency heal and the higher damage. Right. Now the big gimmick of Astrologian is their card system. Now every 30 seconds you're able to draw a card, and depending on the card depends on the buff you're given to the certain party members. Right. Arrows, balances and spears should go on melee DPS first, and if you have no melee DPS they then give the next biggest buff to tanks. But I would still advise DPS because because on range DPS it's still a 3% increase rather than a 6. The 3% increase on a good DPS is higher than a 6% DPS increase on a good tank. Right. With each pair of cards, which is balance and bowls, arrows and ewers, and spires and spears, they have a seal attached to them. For balance and bowls, they have the sun seal attached. You cannot gain the seals unless you're in combat. So for me to gain the sun seal from the bowl I drew, I had to be in combat, and then it gets added to the gauge above it. Your goal with the seals is to get one of each, which is sun, star, and moon. So I just drew the arrow, which has the moon. Get that added. Right. Sleeve draw will give you 3 draws in quick succession. So you can use this to try and get the seals you need earlier. Right. Once you have one of each seal, you'll be at, or at least 3 seals in on the gorge, but you really want to get one of each seal rather than multiple of the same. You get access to divination. Now divination is an AoE around you buff to the party. This goes up to 6% and it lasts for 15 seconds. So there you are. You get a small damage buff. But this is an AoE around you to your party, so every party member can have this buff. That is your goal of your system, is to get 3 different seals, so that your divination can give out the max amount of damage buff. Because if you have more seals that are the same, the less damage buff it gets. It must be 3 different seals for the maximum damage buff. Now, you can keep drawing even when you got the 3 seals and you're waiting for divination cooldown to go to be reset, and you can change the cards into minor arcana, which are Lords and Lady. Lords buff melee DPS and tanks the most with 8. And then Lady buffs range DPS and healers the most with 8 as well. For the other respective, it's only 4. So again, it's still more worthwhile to put on a good DPS than a good tank. But depending on your party, you might have a better tank than your DPS, in which case definitely buff that tank. Now, Lord and Lady do not give seals, so if you use them, you will not be working towards divination, so bear that in mind. As you can see, I just used a card outside of combat, no seal gained. So you must be in combat to gain those seals. Right. Sinistry requires a party member. And once you target the party member, they will gain the Sinistry buff. Now that is whenever you cast a single target heal, they will also the person you're bonded to with Sinistry will also gain the heal, but it's only single target. As you can see, I got 21k on myself, but my Sinistry bonded target also got 8k, so it is only a fraction of the heal as well. So do bear that in mind. Horoscope. Right, when you use Horoscope, you got 10 seconds to use Helios or Aspected Helios to proc it into Horoscope Helios. Now, for Horoscope Helios, it will provide a heal on anyone that is proc to when you press this Horoscope button again. But you must press it before the timer runs out, or it just wears off and you gain nothing. I'll show that off in a bit later. Right. Celestial Intersection is an off GCD free heal that will give, depending on the sect you're in, so I'm in Diurnal, so Celestial Intersection will give a shield. It'll be a weak shield, but it's still a free off global cooldown shield. It's single target, and so bear that in mind. So here we go. Horoscope is back off cooldown. I use Helios to proc it, and then after the 20 seconds it will just wear off and nothing will happen. So you must use the Horoscope button again within that 20 seconds after proccing the base buff within 10 seconds. And only Helios or Expected Helios will proc the base Horoscope. Neutral Sect will give you a 20% healing potency increase while giving your expected benefit and then expected Helios both sects properties, which is shield and regen. Now this can actually stack with Scholar Shields. Unlike Nocturnal Field, which is the Nocturnal Sect's expected benefit and Helios, where they can overwrite Scholar Shields, Neutral Sect Shields will not overwrite Scholar Shields. Another reason why Diurnal is better than Nocturnal is as well, because you can put on a better shield with a good regen for 500 less mana. Yes, Nocturnal Sect has a decent, Neutral Sect has a decent cooldown on it, but in most of the high-end fights at the moment, you don't need constant shields all the goddamn time, so do not worry about that. Again, Sleeve Drawer is just lets you draw up to 3 times in quick succession. So, again, you must be in combat for the seals. Shuffle swaps the card you currently have to a different card. It could be anything but the card you just drew. But it can go back to the same card, and if that happens, feel free to Minor Arcada. Again, the thing you want to go after is 3 different seals ready for divination. Rescue can be used on party members and can only be used on in combat. and it can be used to bring a party member towards your position. So if they're standing in stupid, you can bring them over to get over here, stop standing in stupid. Short cast is your knockback prevention. It's got a short duration, so you must be careful of when you use it. If you use it too early, you will still be knocked back, and so just be careful. And that gravity is your AoE damage. Just when you have more 2 or more mobs, just gravity spam. Again, light speed can be used with your DPS spells to make them instant cast, so gravity can just go kaboom as fast as possible. Collective unconsciousness roots you into the ground, provides a 10% damage mitigation and a small regen. Now if you move or start casting any other spell, it will immediately cancel. Now you still gain a hold of the damage mitigation for a few seconds after the bubble goes down, and the regen lasts for 15 seconds from the last time it's applied. But just bear in mind, you cannot do anything. You cannot move, you cannot cast any other spells while you're using collective unconsciousness, and it's one of those, only use it during downtimes or during, you know, someone's going to die unless you have that big shield mitigation. Celestial Opposition provides a regen onto your party members. It's a small regen. Again, all the regens stack. Again, all regens stack. So feel free to abuse that to try and get as much healing on your tank, especially when they're doing larger pulls. It will help out much better. Now with Essential Dignity, it also has a charge system. You can hold up, once you get to 78, you can hold 2 charges of Essential Dignity. And again, Essential Dignity gets more potent the lower the HP of the target is being healed by. But yeah, if you need quick healing, Essential Dignity is generally the best spot for it. But it's only single target, so beware of that. Now, with Astro and its cards, I have noticed a few extra things with it. It seems the bowl, the ewer, and the bowl, ewer, and trying to think of the last one, and spire will all, when they get minor arcanas, they will always go to the lady, whereas the balance, the spear, and the arrow will always seem to go to the lord. So if you're trying to get as much damage up on your party members as possible during divination, you can use that to your advantage. So if you drew like a bowl, you can minor arcane into a lady, which will give 8 plus the divination buff, which is another 6. So you can give plus 14% damage to a specific party member for 15 seconds. Push comes to shove with large dungeon pulls, because I know it can be a bit harrowing at times for Astros, especially in Shadowbringers dungeons. Feel free to use Celestial Intersection on cooldown. When you get Horoscope, use Horoscope and have it propped ready near the start of the pull, so that you can use that quickly. Put down Earthly Star once the tank is finished pulling everything, and if use your Essential Dignities first, and then if it gets to it, use Celestial Opposition, light speed and then start healing. If you feel comfortable, start adding gravity to the light speed, and then if you still need it, add in collective unconsciousness for a few, like literally 2 seconds of it being up. Take it down and start, and then just start Benefic 2 spam if the damage is that high. Some of the wall-to-walls can be a bit challenging for Astro. If you try and use all your cooldowns for it, generally you go alright. You gotta hope that you get a tank who's also using the cooldown, because I've had huge pulls with tanks not using the cooldowns, and yeah, generally means on the floor tank. This has been my video on some astrologian tips. I hope it's been a bit helpful, and I will bow out here for you.